I think mine is what I came to realise is I get so overwhelmed by so much to do, in terms of kind of like trying to connect with people, have conversations with people, and then kind of like create, I suppose, like social media content. It's kind of like how do you kind of like plan? How do you kind of like manage yourself without getting like so overwhelmed? Because it can just kind of like, to me, my overwhelm got me to a part where I just stopped, and I don't want that. And I've done a lot of work on myself, because I needed to, and I needed to step back. And I quite agree with what you said. If you don't master yourself, you can't deliver that service to somebody else. So I have spent an awful lot of time nurturing myself, making sure that I was well, I got enough sleep, health wise. I've looked at all of that, and done some kind of like digging really, myself, in terms of what I was struggling with. And I think past like one-to-ones I've had with you, we spoke about me going live and things like that, which I kind of said I was ready for, and I wasn't. I had a big fear. But I've actually just done a couple of days of recordings, so I can actually put those out now. So yeah, it's just kind of like that overwhelm, that burden of overwhelm that I struggle with. I'm just trying to like really deal with that.
Okay. So for me, if I ever feel overwhelmed, it's a clear sign that I'm not in state. So if I ever feel overwhelmed, it's a clear sign that I'm not in state. So that's the first thing, because overwhelm for me is just an emotional state. So I'm in a unresourceful emotional state. So no external things can overwhelm me. I decide to wear the hat. If we had hats all laid out like they're symbolic for emotions, there's a joy hat, a gratitude hat, a accepting hat, a loving hat, a playful hat, an overwhelm hat. I'm choosing to wear the hat of overwhelm because on some level it meets my human needs. Bless you, Julia. On some level, feeling overwhelmed meets my human needs. Now, you might hear that and think, well, why on earth would I want to be overwhelmed? At some level, there is a human need that's meeting. So when I'm overwhelmed, what it does is it allows me to, maybe it allows me to not take action. Maybe it keeps me safe. Maybe the overwhelm, maybe that overwhelm hat might be keeping you from doing those live videos that you're talking about doing, because overwhelm is safer than saying, I'm just scared. I'm just scared to do videos. It's easy to say that in this environment because it's a safe environment to say that. But your ego mind, when you're out there trying to rationalize, might be going, I'd rather be overwhelmed than in fear.
Yeah.
Because personally, I'd rather wear the hat of overwhelm than the hat of fear. I just would. Because it's just safer. It's just safer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're in overwhelm, I believe it's about looking deeper at what is it really? Like, is it fear? And then once you can own it and say, you know what, it's not that, it's this. Well, you go, no, I think it is still that. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're honest enough with yourself to go, it's this or it's that.
Ego.
Then ego. Thank you for being honest. Thank you. And then it's about changing the state. So, for example, let's pretend that I've got my overwhelm hat on. Let's pretend I've got, here's an example where I might have experienced overwhelm. First few days of bringing Zen home was a bit overwhelming. Let's say that was the word that I would say, because it was new, it was different. Sage wants attention. Sati needs me to do stuff. New baby. I probably don't use that word anymore because I've just learned that the minute I say it, it's like sends me into a state that's not resourceful. But let's say I feel overwhelmed. I immediately, if you said, what's the recipe that I do to reverse engineer myself out of overwhelm? As soon as I physically can, Louise, I will stop whatever I'm doing and will do something that puts me in a better state that is more likely to stimulate me going into an emotion that's more resourceful. So in our living room, there is a spin bike. There is a spin bike in our living room. And the reason it's there is because there are times where I'm out of state, and it's the easiest, laziest way for me to get back into state. I get on the bike and I move my legs really slowly until I just see my heart rate going up on the Whoop device that I've got. And once it's over like 100 beats per minute, I can honestly say, like, whatever state I was in before, I'm not in anymore, and then I can just get back to whatever I was doing. So that's my how I actually, if I'm in a really I'm not in a good state, I will literally stop whatever I'm doing, and I will go and do something that changes my breathing, heart rate, anything. It's literally like on a train, that whole, the brake glass in case of emergency. My spin bike is my brake glass in case of emergency. I'm not in a good state. I need to break the glass. I need to get on the spin bike. And I just found that because it's in the house, it doesn't require me to generate any, like I just can't outthink it because it's pretending I'm in the living room. It's there. Like it's right in my face. It's not like go for a walk, I feel shit, don't want to put my trainers on, don't want to go outside, don't want to see neighbours, just don't want to go out, it's raining. There's barriers to me going out. My spin bike is there, there's no barriers. Plus, if it's about, for me, like Satty needing me and Sage is there and we've got the new baby, getting on the spin bike means I'm not actually leaving them, so I'm still there. And I actually don't only need a couple of minutes, and Satty will tell you, I'll move my legs as fast as possible, because as soon as I get the heart rate to above 100, then if I wasn't doing it for a workout but because I was out of state, I'll get off. So sometimes I might be on the bike for like 90 seconds and then I'm off. So this doesn't mean everybody, and Louise, you've got to go and buy a spin bike. It means you might want to buy a little trampoline, or you need something that is an anchor, that's a reminder or something around that enables you to do the easiest thing to change your physiology, breathing, to get you out of that state. So I could intellectualize for you, but it really is as simple as just doing something to move your physical body. But the brain, when it's in an overwhelmed state, will try and rationalize and outthink that. Like, that's not the thing. I don't need to do that. Fuck you, Miles. The brain will try and override that. So that's why having something around that's easy to do is important, because the brain will be fighting to tell you why that's not the thing that's going to get you out of that state. The brain will be fighting that. So you need something that's really easy and like easy to grab, easy accessible. Yeah.